to the first virtual pre-immersion orientation with the title Senior High School Work Immersion in the New Normal. Lead yourself and others brilliantly in times of crisis. This is brought to you by Talisay City National High School and the Grade 12 faculty. On behalf of the faculty, we would like to thank you for the support. I am very happy to tell that as of now, we have 605 Facebook users having the Immersion TV frames and 146 number of viewers on Facebook. Again, thank you very much. I am Teacher Giselle Villaneso, the advisor of Grade 12 UMC of Talisay City National High School and one of your facilitators for this orientation. To formally start our program, let us feel the presence of the Lord in our opening prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for another day to live and the opportunity to start a new semester in this school year. We thank you for allowing us today to meet virtually, share our knowledge and time with one another through this orientation. May you extend your divine wisdom to our speakers so that they would be able to impart their knowledge effectively to all of us. And may you bless them as they continue to bring expertise to people who need them. We pray that you will guide us in all ways so that we will seek your will in everything that we do. We ask this in the name of Jesus, our Lord. Amen. Now, let us sing our Philippine national anthem to be followed by the singing of TCNHS School Hymn.
Talisay, garbo kong talisay, kaugmaon ko imong isapnay. Walay kun ka nga tunghaan, sa madamgo ko ikaw agianan. Mga pagtulungan mo, pag-aambingan ko, mga hiyas mo hinagiban ko. Agit sa katilingban sa gubangon, pinaagi sa gasa mong edukasyon. Anong pakinitunghaan kong kagikan, kanunay kong pasalamatan. Una sa man kami ibanlas kapalaran, magpabiling kang bahan dinidugan. Talisay, mahal kong talisay, magtutudlo mo among gabay. Ikaduha ka namong pinianan, sa mga pagsulay kami natambagan. Talisay, garbo kong talisay, pag-ahalalan ka kanunay. Kabataan mong natabangan, kahayag kahangtod sa kahangturan. Parang pakinitunghaan kong kagikan, kanunay kong pasalamatan. Mula sa man kami ibanlas kapalaran, pabiling kang bahan diningdugan. natambagan. Talisay, garbo kung talisay, nagahalaran ka kanunay. Kabataan mong natabangan, kahayag ka hangtod sa kahanturan. Kabataan mong natabangan, kahayag ka hangtod sa kahangturan. Talisay.
To give us the opening remarks, let us hear the welcome message from our supportive and active school head, Sir Iman U. Alido.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Evangela M. Luminarias, to our Assistant School Division Superintendent, Dr. Marcelita Dignos, to all the faculty and staff of the Talisay City National High School, and most especially to the Senior High School Department, and to all our students, most especially the grade 12. Magandang umaga, mayong buntag kanatong tanan. Welcome to this pre-orientation seminar of our grade 12 for this immersion. In this time of pandemic, the Department of Education releases a guidelines for the immersion of our grade 12 students, most especially the TBL, and also our applied subjects in academic. At this moment where we are in pandemic, the Talisay City National High School created and adapted a new program so that our students be able to anchor during the time of their immersion or the real workplace. May this undertaking help all our students. May open your queries and be answer all our speakers so that it will lead you the real meaning of being a student even though we are in this pandemic. Sana po mabigyan ng pagkakataon na masagot ang bawat tanong na, na magbibigay sa inyo ng clarification sa mga gagawin, sa mga dapat nating gawin dito sa immersion program. Malaki pong pagbabago ang ginagawa natin ngayon. Hindi to katulad ng ating during the time that we are in F2 face-to-face. Ito yung time na kung saan we prepare our students. The after this, hindi pa rin nawawala the main purpose of the senior high school. Number 1, may pagpatuloy ang pag-aaral. Number 2, makahanap ng trabaho. The number 3, magkaroon ng sariling entrepreneur. Sana po, this immersion will lead every students and also their parents to guide you kung ano ang dapat gawin para makuha natin ang isang competencies na kakailanganin. From the bottom of the heart, in behalf of the Talisay City National High School, faculty and staff, and the Senior High School Department, especially the grade 12, maraming salamat po sa pagsuporta sa Talisay City National High School.
Thank you for that welcome message, Sir Alido. So, in this orientation, you will know the importance of personality development, work ethics, resume writing and job interview, work health and safety, and work relationships in the new normal. But before that, unsa day na ang work immersion and unsa day atong gi-expect ani nga subject? To answer these questions, Teacher Ruby Basaka, the grade 12 year leader, will give us an overview of what work immersion is.
Good day, everyone. As you all know, that work immersion is part of the curriculum for the senior high school. Today, we're having the pre-immersion orientation. Work immersion, these are the following objectives. After going through this orientation, you are expected to define work immersion and its nature, determine the reasons for conducting a work immersion, get familiarized with the terms used for work immersion. For the DepEd Order number 40, series of 2015, This is where we can see the meaning of work immersion. So according to DepEd Order number 40, series of 2015, work immersion refers to the part of the senior high school curriculum consisting of 80 hours on hands-on experience or work simulation which the grade 11 and 12 students will undergo to expose them to actual workplace setting and to enrich the competencies provided by the school under the supervision of the school head and the designated personnel of the partner. DepEd Order number 30, series of 2017, stated the guidelines for work immersion, which is the basis for the implementation of work immersion in all senior high schools. This DepEd Order number 30 series of 2017, it has a rationale, which is the section 1. One of the goals of the K-12 education program is to develop in learners the competencies, work ethics, and values relevant to pursuing further education and are joining the world of work. Work immersion, a required subject, has been integrated in the curriculum. Work immersion subject will provide learners with the following opportunities. First, to become familiar with the workplace. Second, for employment simulation. And the third, to apply their competencies in areas of specialization or applied subjects in authentic work environments. And there is another DepEd Order number 39, series of 2018. DepEd recognizes other options that may equally prepare learners for all curriculum exits. For all tracks, schools may opt to devise unique delivery model with a minimum of 80 and a maximum of 320 hours, following the curriculum guide. PL learners shall have completed the required learning competencies of a particular specialization before work immersion. The nominal duration of specialization for TVL shall be considered in crafting the delivery model of the school. For other tracks, accounting, business and management, or the ABM, learners may have business enterprise simulation. For humanities and social science strand, or HUMS, learners may take culminating activity. For science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, learners may take research or capstone project. General academic strand, or GAS, learners may take research or capstone project or culminating activity. In the new normal of education that we're experiencing this school year, a memorandum issued by the Department of Education, and this is the Memorandum DM CI 2020-00085 for this school year 2020-21. Varying suggested activities for all tracks, guided by most essential competencies, or the MECs, are provided and will be discussed by the work immersion teacher. The activities in all tracks can be performed in different schemes, which include in school, home-based, community-based, and school-industry partnership. In the midst of chaos, always remember there is also opportunity. This is from Sanchu. Once again, I'm teacher Ruby Basaka. Keep safe always and always think positive.
Here, what is and the importance of motivation and personality, especially in this time of pandemic from our first speaker. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Physical Education, Music and Health from Talisay City College, a holder of the degree of Master of Arts in Education, major in Administration and Supervision, and the current advisor of Grade 12 ICTA. Please give a round of virtual applause to teacher Maria Cecilia A. Correa.
Good day, everyone. I am Teacher Cecil. I just hope that you are healthy and safe at home. And it will be my pleasure to serve you as your speaker. This morning, I will be discussing to you about motivation and personality. But before anything else, let me give to you first the objectives of my discussion. After this discussion, you will be able to understand the importance of motivation and personality in this time of pandemic. Next, value the importance of motivation and personality. And the third one is to apply motivation and personality during pandemic in a positive way. As we all knew, for the past year till this time, the World Health Organization have been implementing rules and safety procedures caused by this COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of struggles have been encountered, like being confined to our homes, following safety protocols like social distancing and wearing masks. Because of this, possible effect can weaken our interest to move on with our plans, such as doing business, applying for a job, or any other things which you have planned to do but have been giving boundaries due to this current situation of spread disease. And obviously, we heard a lot of people lost their job and even experienced poverty and hunger. In this situation, the question is, how will you be able to cope up with this? How will you motivate yourself to move on with your life and plans? Does your personality influence your motivation? Well, our motivations and personality can be of great factors to help ourselves in overcoming fears. And maintaining our motivations is becoming an increased challenge to each and individual to sustain the determination to keep life moving. And with our personality, this will play a significant effect on our motivation to continue living in spite of the difficulties. To understand more about this, let me now discuss to you what is motivation and personality all about, and how can this thing can help and apply to yourself in this current situation and for your future job. Now next, what is motivation? Motivation is a process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. It is what causes you to act. Motivations involves the biological, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate behavior. In everyday usage, the term motivation is frequently used to describe why a person does something. It is the driving force behind human actions. Meaning to say, it is through your motivation that can drive you to do the act. Therefore, as a person or individual, you cannot be able to do such things successfully if you are not well motivated. However, in this current situation, you might be one of the persons experiencing the difficulties or even your loved ones. So try to assess yourself. Do you have enough motivation, especially now that you are facing global problems? I want you to deepen your thoughts. while you assess yourselves, because this might give you some realizations towards your behavior of why you do such things and why you do not. There are two types of motivation. Different types of motivation are frequently described as being either extrinsic or intrinsic. Let us have first what is extrinsic motivations. Extrinsic motivations are those that arise from outside of the individual and often involve rewards such as trophies, money, social recognition, or praise. Example of this extrinsic motivation is being paid to do a job. Because of this, you are well motivated because you are given a reward, and that will be your salary, obviously. Okay, so next motivations is the intrinsic motivations. When I say intrinsic motivations, are those that arise from within the individual, such as doing a complicated crossword puzzle purely for the personal gratification of solving a problem. This is the act wherein you are doing something without any obvious external rewards. You do it because it's enjoyable and interesting. There are also uses for motivation. There are many different uses for motivation that serves as a guiding force for all human behavior. But understanding how it works and the factors that may impact it can be important in a number of ways. Understanding motivation can first help improve the efficiency as people as they work toward goals. Meaning to say, with your motivation, this will help you implement effectivity to your work to have or to be successful with your goal. Next, uses of motivation is help people take action. This will help you to take the action successfully because of your interest. Next uses for motivation is to encourage people to engage in health-oriented behaviors. Especially now in this time of pandemic, we should be motivated to be health-oriented individual, like participating or performing any types of exercise at home and following safety protocols. Next uses for motivation is to help people avoid unhealthy or maladapted behavior such as risk-taking and addiction. If you think you have some of those unhealthy behavior, try to avoid it. Next is to help people feel more in control of their lives and improve overall well-being and happiness. So those are the uses for motivation. And to understand more about uses or motivation, let us move on with the impact. What is the impact of motivation? Each one of us had a goal. And to achieve such goal, it requires the ability to persist through obstacles and endurance to keep going in spite of difficulties. There are three major components of motivation. First is we have activation, persistence, and intensity. What is activation? Activation involves the decision to initiate a behavior. Next, persistence. Persistence is the continued effort toward a goal, even though obstacles may exist. An example of persistence would be continuing to college education in order to earn a degree, although it requires a significant investment of time, energy, and resources. Next is intensity. Intensity can be seen in the concentration and vigor that goes into pursuing a goal. For example, one student shows less effort, while another student will study regularly and participate in discussions. So therefore, the first student lacks intensity, while the second pursues their educational goals with greater intensity. In this impact, it shows how you concentrate and perform vigor efforts towards achieving your goal. So those are the three impact of motivation. You have activation, persistence, and intensity. Each of these or each of those components of motivation can provide impact to a person, whether or not you achieve your goal. However, if you have strong activation, for example, it means that you are more likely to start pursuing a goal. Persistence and intensity will determine if you keep working toward that goal and how much effort you devote to reaching it. Other than uses and impact, there are also some tips to include to people with low motivation. Sometimes we feel unsure of what you want or how to achieve your goal. Sometimes you are highly driven to reach your goal, or sometimes you are not. It is the feeling of wanting to push yourselves, but sometimes you are also feeling pulling it back. Even if you're feeling low on motivation, there are steps you can take that will keep you moving forward. Some things you can do include: first, adjust your goals to focus on things that really matters to you. Meaning to say, what really matters most, then hit the goal. Next, if you're tackling something that is just too big or too overwhelming, break it up into smaller steps and try setting your sights on achieving that first step toward progress. Kung sa Bisaya pa, gadako ura ang imong hunahuna or ang imong panglantaw. Though it's not that bad to dream high and have this huge goal to achieve, but at least set or create your sights by starting into a smaller steps. Next is to improve your confidence. Have self-confidence, because the higher confidence you have, the higher chance of achieving your goal. The next one is to remind yourself about what you achieved in the past and what where your strengths lie. Meaning, you need to identify your strength by reminding yourselves of what you have achieved from the past and use this as a stepping stone to pursue another goals in life. Next, tips. If there are things you feel insecure about, try working on making improvements in those areas so that you feel more skilled and capable. This is very clear. Improve your weaknesses. Identify what aspects or areas you feel low and work on it until you become more skilled and capable to that certain areas. Well, now you already knew all about motivation, its uses, impact, and tips. But remember, there are a few things you should watch for that might hurt your motivation. And this is what we call as potential pitfalls. When we say potential pitfalls, these are difficulties that you might be encountering, and these include: number one, quick fixes or all or nothing thinking. It's easy to feel unmotivated if you can't fix something immediately or if you can't have it all at once. Remind yourself that reaching your goals takes time. So, it is very natural, it's very normal to feel unmotivated if you cannot fix something immediately. So, take note of it. Next, thinking that one size fits all. Just because an approach or method worked for someone else does not mean that it will work for you. If something is not helping you to reach your goal or is making you feel unmotivated, look for things that will work better for you. Those are the two potential pitfalls in motivation. Remember this. This is just a piece of advice. If you are feeling symptoms of apathy and low mood that last longer than 2 weeks, talk to a doctor. Because sometimes a persistent lack of motivation might be tied to a mental health condition such as depression. Ang kanirabang depression is not a good sign of mental illness. Now, let us deepen more our understanding about motivation. What are the things that actually motivate us to act? Throughout history, psychologists have proposed different theories to explain what motivates human behavior. The following are some of the major theories of motivation. First is the instinct theory of motivation. The instinct theory of motivation suggests that behaviors are motivated by instincts, which are fixed and inborn patterns of behavior. Psychologists including William James, Sigmund Freud, and William McDougall have proposed a number of basic human drives that motivate behavior. Such instincts might include biological instincts that are important for an organism's survival, such as fear, cleanliness, and love. Next theories is drives and needs. Many of your behaviors, such as eating, drinking, and sleeping, are motivated by biology. You have biological need for food, water, and sleep. Therefore, you are motivated to eat, drink, and sleep. Drive theory suggests that people have basic biological drives and that behaviors are motivated by the need to fulfill these drives. Next theory of motivation is the arousal levels. The arousal theory of motivation suggests that people are motivated to engage in behaviors that help them maintain their optimal level of arousal. A person with low arousal needs might pursue relaxing activities such as reading a book, while those with high arousal needs might be motivated to engage in exciting, thrill-seeking behaviors such as motorcycle racing. So those are the three theories of motivations. First, the instinct theory of motivation, the drive and needs, and the last one is the arousal theory of motivation. All of those about motivation that I have discussed can be useful for you and will provide greater impact to achieve your goal, especially in this time of pandemic. Understanding motivation is important in many areas of life, from parenting to the workplace. So, set the best goals and establish the right reward systems to motivate others as well as to increase your own motivation. Next, to be able to understand more about our topics, let me help you understand now about personality. What is personality? Personality encompasses all of the thoughts, behavior patterns, and social attitudes that impact how we view ourselves and what we believe about others and the world around us. While there are many different definitions of personality, most focus on the pattern of behaviors and characteristics that can help predict and explain a person's behavior. Explanations for personality can focus on a variety of influences, ranging from genetic explanations for personality traits to the role of the environment and experience in shaping an individual's personality. Now, there are different types of characteristics of personality. So, what exactly makes up a personality? Traits and patterns of thought and emotion play important roles as well as the following fundamental characteristics of personality. First, consistency. There is generally a recognizable order and regularity to behaviors. Essentially, people act in the same ways or similar ways in a variety of situations. Next is the psychological and physiological personality. Personality is a psychological construct, but research also suggests that it is also influenced by biological processes and needs. Next is behaviors and actions. Personality not only influences how we move and respond in our environment, but it also causes us to act in certain ways. Next is multiple expressions. Personality is displayed in more than just behavior. It can also be seen in our thoughts, feelings, close relationships, and other social interactions. So, there are a number of theories about how personality develops, and different schools of thought in psychology influence many of these theories. Some of these major perspectives on personality include the following. So these are some of the types theories. Types theories are the early perspectives of personality. These theories suggested that there are a limited number of personality types that are related to biological influences. Listen and observe, because you might most likely one of these types. And these are: first, type A, perfectionist, impatient, competitive, work obsessed, achievement oriented, aggressive, stressed. Type B, low stress, even tempered, flexible, creative, adaptable to change, patient, tendency to procrastinate. Next is a type C. Type C is highly conscientious, perfectionist, struggle to reveal emotions, either positive and negative. Next is type D. Feelings of worry, sadness, irritability, pessimistic outlook, negative self-talk, avoidance of social situations, lack of self-confidence, fear of rejection, appearing gloomy, and hopelessness. Now, assess yourselves. Which of those types theories you belong? There are also types of traits theories. And of all those personality traits theories, I chose this one because this can be more helpful to you during this time. These are the big 5 personality traits. The first personality traits of big 5 is openness. This trait features characteristics such as imagination and insight. People who are high in this trait also tend to have a broad range of interests. They are curious about the world and other people and eager to learn new things and enjoy new experiences. People who are high in this trait tend to be more adventurous and creative. People low in this trait are often much more traditional and may struggle with abstract thinking. So, this is the summary. People with high, they are very creative, open to trying new things, focus on tackling new challenges, happy to think about abstract concepts. While people with low openness dislikes change, does not enjoy new things, resists new ideas, not very imaginative, and dislikes abstract or theoretical concepts. Next big 5 theory is conscientiousness. Standard features of this dimension include high levels of thoughtfulness, good impulse control, and goal-directed behaviors. Highly conscientious people tend to be organized and mindful of details. They plan ahead, think about how their behavior affects others, and are mindful of deadlines. So, this is high conscientiousness. This spends time preparing, finishes important tasks right away. This is a high conscientious person. First, this spends time preparing, finishes important tasks right away, pays attention to detail, enjoys having a set schedule. While in low, they dislike structure and schedules, makes messes and doesn't take care of things, fails to return things or put them back where they belong, procrastinates important tasks, and fails to complete necessary or assigned tasks. Next, Big Five theory is the extraversion. Extraversion or extroversion is characterized by excitability, sociability, talkativeness, assertiveness, and high amounts of emotional expressiveness. People who are high in extraversion are outgoing and tend to gain energy in social situations. Being around other people helps them feel energized and excited. People who are low in extroversion tend to be more reserved and have less energy to expend in social settings. Now, these are the summary of a people which is extroversion. In high, they enjoys being the center of attention. Likes to start conversations. Enjoys meeting new people. Has a wide social circle of friends and acquaintances. Finds it easy to make new friends. Feels energized when around other people. Say things before thinking about them. While in low extroversion, prefers solitude. They feels exhausted when having to socialize a lot. Finds it difficult to start conversations. Dislikes making small talk and carefully things through before speaking. And they also dislike being the center of attention. The next Big Five theory is the agreeableness. This personality dimension includes attributes such as trust, altruism, kindness, affection, and other pro-social behaviors. People who are high in agreeableness tend to be more cooperative, while those low in this trait tend to be more competitive and sometimes even manipulative. People with high agreeableness has a great deal of interest in other people, cares about others, feels empathy and concern for other people, enjoys helping and contributing to the happiness of other people, assessed others, while people with low agreeableness, they take little interest in others, doesn't care about how other people feel, has little interest in other people's problems, insults and belittles others, manipulates others to get what they want. The last one of Big Five theory is the neuroticism. It is a trait that characterized by sadness, moodiness, and emotional instability. Individuals who are high in this trait tend to experience mood swings, anxiety, irritability, and sadness. Those low in this trait tend to be more stable and emotionally resilient. People with high neuroticism experiences a lot of stress, worries about many different things, gets upset easily, experiences dramatic shifts in mood, feels anxious, struggles to bounce back after stressful events. While people with low, they are emotionally stable, deals well with stress, rarely feels sad or depressed, doesn't worry much, and they are very relaxed person. Now that you have understood about motivation and personality, to end my discussion, I want you to answer the following activity. Answer the following questions in a short band paper. Number 1. What is something you are feeling unmotivated about during this pandemic? Number 2. How do you think it got to be this way? Number 3. What would happen if you were to suddenly become motivated? How would things look differently? Number 4. Think very hard. What are the 3 things you can do to make it more exciting to reach your goal? Number 5. What would you need to do to keep up the excitement until you reach your goal? And the last one, what can you start doing right now? Once again, I am teacher Cecil saying one can choose to go back toward safety or forward toward growth. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. By Abraham Maslow. Thank you so much and stay safe and God bless.
Our next speaker is a Bachelor of Science in Commerce, major in Business Administration graduate from University of San Jose Recoletos, earning 36 units of Master of Arts in Education, major in School Supervision and Administration, and 36 units of Master in Business Administration. She is the grade 12 School Monetary Evaluation and Adjustment or SMEA focal person of Talisay City National High School and the current ABM 12 advisor. Please give a round of virtual applause to teacher Marilu A. Beronque.
Good day, everyone. The previous speaker tackled about motivation and personality in times of crisis. Now, I will discuss about the ethics, values, moral principles, and standards that should be considered in the workplace. The modern definition of what constitutes good work ethics often varies. Different businesses, companies have different expectations. In healthcare, for example, following the rules is paramount because to deviate such rules may lead to injury or even death of the patient. The customers need to know that the products they buy and consume are safe. If they see that the company offers and at the same time assuring them that those products are completely safe for consumption, then taas-taas ang chance sa inyong customer nga mubalik and ma-purchase sa inyong product. Okay. In advertising, there is a greater emphasis on creativity. The main reason why a consumer will take the time to read a flyer, it is because of something na naka-intriga sa ilaha. You are more likely to grab your audience attention by using your creativity that are surprising and unique. Workplace ethics are the set of values, moral principles, standards, set of rules and regulations that need to be followed by both employers and employees in their workplace. Workplace ethics are the set of values, moral principles, standards, set of rules and regulations that need to be followed by both employers and employees in the workplace. These ethics are implemented by employers to foster employee-employee relationship and employee-customer relationships. According to Indira Gandhi, there are 2 kinds of people: those who do the work and those who take the credit. Try to be in the first group. There is less competition there. The word etiquette is derived from French, which actually means ticket. Your ticket to getting anything and going to any place you want. It is defined as a good behavior and allows you to present yourself in a professional and polite way. What do we mean by act like a professional? Professional is not just a set of appearances, neatness, good grooming. Professionalism defined by who you are, your inner character, what you do, your behavior exhibited, and how others perceive you, the image projected. And why etiquette? First reason is to avoid workplace tension, conflicts, and misunderstanding, and to make the workplace happy, stress-free place, and to make the workplace organized and productive. Sa slide nga inyong nakita, unsa man di ay ang kalainan sa duha. Okay? When we talk about ethics, it has something to do with moral principles. When we talk about etiquette, it has something to do with manners, the surface behavior, although both govern the way people behave. There are 5 characteristics of a good work ethics, and these are attendance and punctuality, goal setting, hard work, positive attitude, and accomplishment. Okay, attendance and punctuality. Whether in school or work, you learn and accomplish most when you show up on time and prepared. You can't learn if you're not there. Good attendance and punctuality are 2 important pieces of a good work ethics and often have a large impact on individual and team success. How to maintain good attendance? First, make your work a high priority. Next, know your schedule. Make sure to have enough sleep. Make use of your alarm clock. Arrange your transportation and inform your supervisors of an absence. Ang attendance and punctuality kay usa ni sa pagpakita og maayong pamatasan sa trabaho, no? So ato kining pagapraktison ug likayan ang pagsigig absent ug pagsigig ka late sa trabaho. According to Nicole Kidman, I was taught a very strong ethic that included punctuality, which I've always felt as a sign of respect for others. Next is goal setting. Before you can accomplish your goals, you need to know what they are. People with good work ethics are goal-oriented and dedicated to achieving the success they envision. When it comes to setting your goals, the ultimate success factor is work ethic. Whether you are seeking a promotion and run your first marathon, establishing a strong work ethic is of the utmost importance. Work ethics is composed of 5 elements, and these are integrity, reliability, cooperation, dedication, and discipline. Okay. For integrity, integrity is what keeps you honest and accountable for your actions. It involves establishing your moral principles and basing all your decisions on what you think is right. So, sa ato ang pagpantrabaho, demonstrating integrity will attract people who are trustworthy and dependable. Next is reliability. No? Reliability requires the ability to manage your commitments, maintain punctuality, and perform consistently. If you are a reliable worker, your team will know that they can count on you to get the job done efficiently and effectively. In short, masaligan ka. Next, cooperation. With cooperation comes the understanding of the value of teamwork, respecting other people's opinions, and being able to receive constructive feedback. Having the support from your team, your family, Your friends or your colleagues can make any task a lot easier than if you were to tackle it yourself. Next, dedication. Dedicated employees are purpose-driven and can be counted on to get the job done to the best of their ability. In life, dedication leads to passion, and when someone passionate puts their mind to something and nothing can stop them. Next is discipline. Discipline is the drive to stay focused on the goal and complete the task necessary to accomplish it. At work, being disciplined allows you to prioritize your responsibilities and complete your task on time. Importante kaayo nga anaa kitay disiplina sa atong kaugalingon. Kay kung wala kini, wala jud tay padulngan. The bottom line here is implementing these 5 elements into your personal and professional routines will help you increase your performance, build quality relationships, stay focused, and ultimately see excellent results. Strong work ethics and determination will help us reach our goals. Hard work. At the foundation of a good work ethic is a whole lot of hard work. In school, it may mean staying after for extra help from your instructor or fine-tuning your assignments to reach your perfection. At work, you may want to come in a little early or stay late so you can do your best as you can. Lupigon sa usa ka smart worker ang hard worker. Pero importante kaayo ni ang hard worker. Kay kini nagpakita man og paghigugma sa iyang trabaho. Positive attitude. Accepting every task, big and small, with a good attitude shows that you're a team player dedicated to not just your own success, but to the success of your company. Ang positibong attitude o kinaiya sa trabaho, nagpakita nga ang usa ka empleyado kay maayong miyembro sa grupo nga dili lang mo focus sa iyang kaugalingon nga success, kundi para sa tibuok kumpanya. According to Wade, a positive attitude causes a chain, a reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst and it sparks extraordinary results. Next is accomplishment. The more you accomplish, the more likely you will be the person chosen for further advancement. Your good work ethics is likely to be recognized, acknowledged, and rewarded and can serve as a building block to your future success. According to Lander, I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. According to David Bly, striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. According to Alison Felix, everyone sees the glory moments, but they don't see what happens behind the scenes. These are the ethical values in the workplace. First, obey the company's rules and regulations. Next, communicate effectively. Next, develop professional relationships. Then, take responsibility. Then, professionalisms or standards. Then, be accountable. Uphold trust. Show initiative without being told. Respect your colleagues and work smarter. First, obey the company's rules and regulations. Due to the excitement of getting a new job, some employees do not properly read these rules and may end up deferring them in the future. Therefore, it is really important that new employees properly read these rules and regulations in order not to delay them. Next is communicate effectively. Effective communication is very important to avoid misunderstanding when dealing with issues in the workplace. Effective communication may also have an employee breaking one of the rules and regulations of the company without getting penalized for it. Ang usa ka trabahante kay pwede nga dili mahatagan og penalty for being late if mo reach out siya sa HR that he will be coming late due to some circumstances. Aron malikayan ang kagubot o dili maayong relasyon sulod sa trabahoan, importante nga kada usa magbaton og maayong komunikasyon ug maayong pagsunod sa mga patakaran sa kumpanya. Develop professional relationships. Good professional relationships are not only a thing that fosters teamwork among employees, but also help with individual career development for employees and improve productivity. What happens when you don't play well with others? Or kana ganing dili ka balo makihalubilo sa iyahang mga kaubanan or mugo sa grupo? No? There are 7 ways you can play well with others at work. First, to the meeting table. Some employees spend unjustifiable amount of time identifying problems. Honestly, mo ni siyang pinakasayon nga part. But bringing solutions are the challenging part that will earn respect and admiration from your coworkers and leaders. No? In short, when there's a problem, there's always a solution. Next, don't blame game. Do not do the finger pointing and making excuses. Be proactive instead of reactive. And kana ra bang mga reklamador kay maujud na sila ang daghan kaayo excuses. We all make mistakes, but we need to accept and be responsible for our actions. Apologize when you're wrong and accept the fact that you are not always right. Then admit when you made mistakes and recognize and embrace your own shortcomings and ask others for help when you need it. Your verbal and non-verbal communication matters. In today's world, communication serves as a basic and is considered a critical function. Verbal communication involves words that may be spoken or written. Kanang pag-text, chat, is also a part of verbal communication because it's a way of conveying message. Gi-text lang. Non-verbal communication includes facial expressions, gestures, body postures, and eye contact. Pinaagi niining non-verbal, our attitudes are understood, while verbal communication makes our meaning understood to the other party. Next, never blindside anybody. Kana ganing attacking or hitting someone on the back unprepared, dili jud na siya maayo. Don't say bad words to anyone. Somewhere down the line, your paths will cross again. If dili man galing nindot ang mga pulong nga atong ipagawas, then don't say anything. We would rather do the right thing. Next is keep your commitments. In an organization, works is interconnected. If you fail to meet deadlines and commitments, you affect the work of other employees. No? Provide a new due date and make every effort to honor the new deadline. Next is share credit for accomplishment, ideas, and contributions. Take the time to say thank you. Reward, recognize, and specify the contributions of the people who help you succeed. Next, help other employees find their greatness. Every employee in your organization has talents and skills. If you can help fellow employee harness their ability, you give benefits to the organization. Give compliments, praise, and notice their contributions. The bottom line, if you will carry out the 7 actions, you will play well with others and build effective interpersonal work relationships. Coworkers will value you as a colleague. Leaders will believe that you play on the right team with them. Next is take responsibility. It is really important for employees to always take responsibility for the decisions both individually and in a team. This is in fact a leadership trait that every employee who is looking to take up a managerial position in the future. These standards should be held high and applied to every part of an employee's activity in the workplace. This should include the way they speak, kind of work they deliver, and their relationship with coworker and customers. According to Jana Cachola, professionalism should not be defined by a person's paycheck, role, or title. It should be defined by a person's work ethics. Okay, next, be accountable. Accountability starts with you. If you want people to take ownership, then you have to see to take ownership. When you make commitments, you have to be seen to meet those commitments. You have to walk the talk if you want others to follow you. Okay? Ang accountability o responsibilidad ang ngay nga batunan sa usa ka trabahante kay nagpakita man kini og maayong panag-ingnan sa isig ka tawo, no? Usa sad kini nga maayong hiyas sa usa ka leader. Accountability is the glue that bonds commitments to results. That is according to Will Craig. Next is uphold trust. Trust is the cornerstone of teamwork. It is also fosters risk-taking and innovation and empowers employees at every level to put in extra effort. Honesty is the best policy. Keep your promises. Tell the truth. And more than anything, make sure your actions match your words. Next is keep the lines of communication open. It's tempting to keep bad news to yourself, but entrusting your troops with the unvarnished truth will breed loyalty. Don't let the rumor dictate your communication policy. Next is respect. Showing respect for your employees, their opinions, concerns, and ideas lets them know that their contributions are important to the success of the enterprise. Show initiative without being told. If the company is running behind deadlines and you feel you can stay a few extra hours after work to finish up, then do it. Okay? What is initiative? Initiative is the ability to be resourceful without always being told what to do. No? Dili na misil suguon pa. Okay? Why is initiative important? Initiative will allow you to get ahead of the competition and ensure you're up to date with what's going on in your career sector. Next is respect your colleagues. It doesn't matter whether you are dealing with the intern, a janitor, etc. They should all be treated with respect. Giving constructive criticism and saying kind words to them, even when they are not able to deliver perfectly, will help them strive to do better in the future. Next is work smarter. Don't just work hard, work smarter. The reason why you see an employee promoted to the post of manager after just 2 years and a hardworking employee who has been with the company for 10 years failed to get the promotion, it is because of smart work. According to Rebecca, talent is a gift, but your attitude, work ethic are things you have to develop yourself. Before I will end up my topic, I want you to answer these questions. Why ethic is important? How do you apply ethics in life? This is Mrs. Marilu Bironque. Thank you and be safe, everyone.
감추지 못하게 해 남자들의 분위 여자들의 가식 유머를 자신감이 불만해 난 보란듯이 너무나도 뻔뻔히 네 몸속에 파고드는 엘레지 이상한 정신에 술렁이는 천지 오늘 여기 무법지 난 불을 질러 심장을 태워 널 미치게 하고 싶어 B.I.G. Yeah we bring like this 모두 다 같이 저 맞은 것처럼 Bang 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 널 데려가 지금 이 순간에 새빨간 저 하늘이 춤출 때 돌고 돌아 너와 나 이곳은 발라 찬양하라 떠올려 퍼지게 We go hard boy 신번 밤새 달려 죽지 법 이 노래는 거지처럼 신이 나 불러라 신청 겁이며 소리 눈마송의 멜로디 검은 독이 결국 사방팔방 어방가 사뿐한 고백 wow 난 불을 질러 심장을 태워 날 미치게 하고 싶어 Yeah, we bang like this 모두 다 같이 저 맞은 것처럼 Bang 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 맞은 것처럼 Bang 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 맞은 것처럼 Bang bang bang
Good morning, Talisay City National High School. This is Engineer Danilo C. Canyarejo Jr., Registered Electrical Engineer and Master Electrician. Teacher RJ of Grade 12 STEM B, your Master of Ceremonies for Part 2 of this virtual pre-immersion orientation. Our next speaker is a degree holder in Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English at Talisay City College, earning 21 units of Master of Arts in Education, major in English Language Teaching. She's a former call center representative in a BPO company for 8 years, and the current Grade 12 GASP advisor. She believes that if an opportunity doesn't knock, then build a door. She will be discussing about the proper way of constructing your resume. And since we are on the age of physical distancing, she will be giving tips on how to ace your online interview. Without further ado, a warm welcome for Teacher Jager C. Gloria. Take it away, Teacher Jakes.
everyone. I am one of your discussants for today. Once again, I am Miss Jaggery Gloria. I am so happy knowing that I will be discussing about crafting a strategic resume and acing your online job interview. So I know all of you are so excited to work, excited to help your parents, excited to try new things, and especially to earn money. And the first step that we need to do that is by creating a resume. So what is a resume? The spelling of resume actually originates from French, which means summary. So up to this day, the purpose of the resume is still to provide employers with a summary of your relevant qualification. It is also a formal document that provides an overview of your professional qualifications, including your relevant work experience, skills, education, and notable accomplishment. So, a resume helps demonstrate your abilities and convince employers you are qualified and hireable. So, what is the purpose of the resume? So again, the goal of a resume is to get you a formal interview. So before you can go to an interview, dapat muratag manguyab ba? Ang unang buhaton na magpadala tag letter. Di ba? Kung manguyab ka, dili man ka muditso nga, uyab din mo. So, muuna pa kag text or maghatag kag letter niya, karon kay chat naman lang. So, dapat una ka ma-express nimo yung pagpanguyab niya through a letter. So, kung sa panarbaho, if ganahan ka manguyab sa panarbaho, dapat muhatag ta og letter before ta makigstorya niya, before ta na-interview. Next is, we have the types of resume. So, di ba, you might be wondering, hala na, di ay types ang resume? Because as we all know, murag usa ra man nakapapila to ang ipas, oy, di ba? So, actually, a common misconception is that there is only one way to write a resume. There is actually a variety of resume formats, and each one has its own strength and weaknesses. So, daghan di ay kaayong klase ang resume. And it is also depending on your specific skill set or work experience. One format might be better suited to highlight your qualification than another. So for reference, there are actually four main types of resume, but we will only focus on two, which is the very common one. And the first is a chronological resume. So what is a chronological resume? It opens with an introduction, and that provides an overview of your professional history in reverse chronological order. So isn't it ironic, diba? The word itself is chronological, but how you arrange your personal or your work experience, it should be in reverse chronological. So this type of resume format is the most common resume used by job seeker. But this is actually advisable, especially for those students or person nga naay work experience. So the purpose of this chronological resume is to highlight your work experience. So the arrangement again is in reverse chronological order, meaning the list of your work history is in order of date with the most recent position at the top. So unsa may pinaka-recent nga trabaho nimo? 2020 down to 2029, 28, 18 up to sa pinaka first job nimo. So mag-una ang pinaka-recent. Mao ni ang format sa chronological resume. Next is we have functional resume. So, functional resume is a formatted to focus on your skills and abilities rather than your chronological work history. So, ang gifokusan ani is ang imuhang skills. It's preferred by professionals who want to draw attention away from their traditional work experience, such as those who are changing careers or significant gaps in their work history. So this is actually applicable sa inyo or for those persons na wala jud kasulay og trabaho. This is the resume na I advise nga gamito nato, a functional resume. You will be highlighting your skills rather than ang imong work experience. So next is, what do I include in a resume? So unsa di ay dapat makita nato sa resume? But before we proceed sa what do I need to include in a resume, by the way, you have to take note when you create a resume, ang advisable jud is one band paper lang siya, like one page, one or two. Ayaw na ng three ka pages kay dili na nabasahon tanan sa mga interviewer, taas na pud kaayo na overwhelming na kaayo imuhang mga information. So ang pinaka advisable jud dapat one, as much as possible one page lang gid siya, but kung daghan jud kay kag qualification, then definitely one or two mao lang. So moving on, we have, first is the contact details. So contact details include your first and last name, your phone number, and email address. So this is very important because mao ni ang gamiton para makontak mo sa inyong employer. You have to make sure that your phone number and email address is accurate. Kay right away kontakon dayon ka sa mga employer, and this is based on experience ari daghang sayop during the time nga nag-apply ko, kay kasagaran sayop ang email address, the phone number, so dili na noon makontak sa interviewer, sayang ang opportunity nga gihatag, then sayop ang phone number, so you have to double check that your email address and phone number is accurate, especially your name. Next is, we have the introduction. What do you mean by introduction, or unsay naa ni? Introduction is an overview of your professional background and key qualification. So your introduction can be in a form of a resume summary, a professional profile, resume objective, or qualification of a summary. So this introduction state your career goals, usually listed at the top of your resume next to the contact information, and it is typically one or two sentences long. So imo lang i-introduce imong self sa introduction. Next, we have education. That includes your school name, highest degree earned, major, and minor. So take note, under education, dapat ang inyong i-include, if you are a salutatorian or cum laude, you can add that. But if na best in science or most diligent, most industrious ka sa class, ayun na siya i-include sa education. It's not kuan na siya unnecessary na i-include. But if it's needed, like relevant siya sa imong gi-applyan, you can include salutatorian or again cum laude. Ayun na to mga best o most, diba? So next is, we have experience. Experience is a list of relevant work experience you have. Include title, the company you worked for, years worked, and bulleted list of your key responsibilities and notable successes. So please take note, in experience, again, it is relevant work experience depending on the work that you applied for. So if you're applying for a, shall I say, teacher, then your work experience is nag-cashier ka, I think it is not relevant to the job that you're applied for. Ayun na lang to siya i-include. But if ang imuhang experience or imong gi-apply kay, let's just say, accounting, then pwede mo ma-add ang katong naka-share ka kay related naman po na siya sa job nga imong gi-applyan. So take note, it should be relevant. And how about, let's just say, nag-online selling ko, ma'am, then ni-apply ko for kanang sa business. Do you think ang live selling, is it part of the experience? What do you think, class? Yes, that's right. Di ba, dili na siya appeal. When we say experience, dapat niagi ta sa job application process, gi-hire and gisuldoan ta. If wala ka niagi nga na-hire ka, then wala ka suldoy, then dili siya part of experience. Pero unsa may tawag na nila, ma'am? You can include that instead of work experience. You can add that under work exposure. You have exposure of the job. So, pwede na ka na yung imuhang ibutang. Okay? Then lastly, we have the skills. Skills include any resume you possess that are relevant to the position. So this is an important part of your application, especially you guys nga wala pa yung mga work experience ato ba i-highlight ang ato ang skills. So make sure when you write a strong skills section, list your most remarkable abilities and include a mix of both hard skills and soft skills to show your employers you are a dynamic candidate. So hard skills, unsa man na? Example, like Microsoft or computer literacy, 'di ba? Soft skills kanang mga communication skills nimo, imong mga relationship, mga sana leadership nimo, 'di ba? Yes, kana siya mo i-include. Now, okay. Next is, as you can see, we have sample resume. The first one, okay, as you can see under chronological resume, di ba, the contact information na siya sa pinakataas. Next is resume introduction. So here's the sample. Lead bartender with 4 years of experience in the cocktail preparation and creation. So iyang gi-highlight ang iyang experience diri. Education, sa education niya, ang ibutang na gani is ang college, dili na kinahanglan ibutang pa mo elementary, high school. So dili na siya necessary class. Ang katulad yung mga education related sa imong gi-applyan po, like BSEd ba ka, aside ana nagmaster ba ka, or unsa man ang imong panglaing education nga na eskwelahan. Nag-test na ba ka? But kasagarang mga test that skills, so adto na nimo siya ma-added to. Here, since it's a chronological resume, as you can see, dako kaayo ang iyahang experience section. Kay gi-highlight man jud niya iyang skills, di ba? Check the date, di ba? It is on reverse chronological. So 2015 to 2018, lead bartender. Then the address. Kung sa iyang gibuhat, trained 3 brand new bartenders in all aspects of the job, from drink preparation and knowledge to building valuable customer relationship and upselling technique. So, tanawa ang next na date, 2014 to 2015. So, di ba, pinaka-recent niya ang naa sa taas. So, ingon ana siya. The next is, we have functional resume. So, tanaw na to ang difference. Okay, so sa iyaha, ang iyahang tanaw ninyo, ang iyang experience section, gilisan na og skill section, then experience gamay na lang kaayo. Riverside restaurant waiter, wala ni daghang istorya kay gamay ra siya experience no. But iyang skills daghan kaayo. Salesmanship, technical, interpersonal. So magbasa lang tag isa diri. Sa technical experience with 3 types of POS terminals, receipt roll replacement, and coffee machine cleaning. Oh, so di ba? Meaning kabalo siya ana. Iya lang gi-add technical skills niya. Okay? So now, kabalo na mo, what's the difference between chronological and functional? Easy ra kayo kung i-highlight ang skills, what type of resume is that? Right, it's a functional resume. If you highlight experience, what type of resume is that? Correct, that's a chronological resume. So now, okay, let me test your knowledge if sabot ba jud mo unsa ang difference between the two. So here is the first one. We have a resume of Jessica Ramon. What do you think? Unsa man ang iyahang what type of resume is this? I'll give you 60 seconds. Okay, can you check? Okay, sige. Please comment sa ato ang chat box if this is a chronological resume or a functional resume. What do you think? Okay, that's right. So this is a functional resume because as you can see, nag-una ang ihang professional experience. Gi-highlight niya ihang professional experience. September 2020 down to June 2017 to August 2020. Next, how about this? Right. So klaro na kaayo no, relevant skills. So gi-highlight niya yung skills. So definitely this is a functional resume. Okay, so moving on, since we're done with the first part of the application process, let's move on to the second part of the application process, which is the interview. So, how to ace an online interview. So, I will give you at least siguro 6 tips. I have 6 tips for you on how to ace in an online interview, or how to ace an online interview. So, nganong online interview man, ma'am, di ba? Daghan man kay pili man good. What if mag walk in me mo, meaning mula ka mi ba dito ra mo sa company mo submit. That's okay. But you have to take note, guys, that developing technology has altered how we approach many situations everyday life. So we even now prefer text or text message or chat rather than letter, di ba? We even prefer search online instead of going to the library, and even purchasing our goods. We prefer groceries online rather than going to the store. Especially with the COVID-19 pandemic bringing a new normal, even more services have moved online to make it as easy as possible to stay home and save lives. So majority of the company actually are hiring online rather than walk in to preserve lives. So kasagaran mo na ni ron nga mag-online na ang interview. So here are my 6 tips for you on how to ace in an online interview. So first, we have to prepare your environment. So when you say prepare your environment, you have to make sure that good lighting, you have a clear background, and positioning of your laptop at eye level make you appear more professional. So what do we need to consider in preparing your environment? Again, find a good light source. That's the first thing that we have to consider. Position your laptop to close to a good light source. So, dapat hayag makita jud imong face sa interviewer. Preferable near a window where you can allow natural light to illuminate your face. But if wala mo, like, inyuha kay kanang wala jud window, if you have a ring light, then that will work. As long as maklaro jud ang inyuhang now visible mo sa interviewer. Next is you have to know your angle. Asa kadapit mo posisyon kana pina-selfie ba dapat? So di ba? Know your angle, show your best angles. Position your webcam at around your eye level and have it far enough back the interviewer can see your head and shoulder clearly. So mo kung best angle kay pina selfie ba ana no? So dili, since it is an interview, it should be formal. So dapat makita lang eye level and have it far enough back the interviewer can see your head and shoulder. Ing ani, parehas ako asoy. Ing ana shoulder level. Okay? And next is you have to clear your background. Go to an area of your home that doesn't have clutter or distracting wall decor. So, dapat wala kaayong daghan background nga samo gani. The reason behind it is the attention of the interviewer instead sa imuha kay mo tan-aw na din siya kadagkagayan sa ihang luyo. Unsa din ang bata nga naa sa iyang luyo. So, instead ma-focus ang interviewer sa imuha, wala na noon na sa imuhang background. So, dapat clean ang imuhang background. Kung naa kay daghang libro, you have to make sure that your books are kanang professional basin mga mga comics na or mga unprofessional na mga books. So you have to be careful. And dili pud ka ng hayag kaayo kay ang attention ka sakit ba na iyang background uy. So di ba dapat as much as possible if you have a white background, mas nice gina siya. So kana ang uban kay mag-cover na sila og tela nga white for the meantime or mag-backdrop ba para maka-focus gyud sa ilaha ang attention sa interviewer. My next tip will be use the right equipment, diba? So use the right equipment. This this one dili tata mo worry for if you are planning to do a kana ganing face to face like mato jud ka sa company kay dili ta mo worry ani. But for online interview, we have to consider this. consider na to use the right equipment. So make sure that you have a laptop or a phone, if you don't have a laptop, ready for the interview. And then, what are the things that we need to consider for the right equipment? First is test your Wi-Fi. Dapat working ba yung mga Wi-Fi, di ba? Dapat if you're using your phone, naka-load. Basta magkakaroon ako, hala karon akong interview, magpa-load na dayon ko. Dali na dayon ka. So makuyawan na nun kag samot kay narato na magkulba-kulba na ka. Then ipaload nimo, walay load ang tindahan. Alam wala ko na sad ka, layo na kaayo. So, di ba, dapat, layo pa, i-prepare na nimo, check na ako load. Dapat, number 1. That is very important because if wala kay Wi-Fi, walay online interview mahitabo. Okay? So, tell your household, if daghan mo makikonnect, ingna mo, tell your household members to disconnect for the duration of the video interview. So, kana, ayo sa mo connect karon ha, kay magkuan ko, wala say mag-ML, kay na ko interview. Kay ma-distract niya, hinay ng internet. So that's one thing that you have to consider for, diba, for the right equipment. Next is use an external webcam. So I'm not sure if this is applicable to all because some of you, kay majority of us, kay wala jud kayo mga webcam kasagaran kay phone ang gamiton, especially bao pa pag-start nimo nga nag-apply, wala tay mga things kaayo. So you can use an external webcam sa kung naamang gani. The reason behind it is the external webcams are a good fit for video interviews compared to inbuilt webcams in a laptop. So they're easier to maneuver and adjust to find the right angle and position. So just to be sure to connect your external webcam before the interview and test that it's going to stay connected throughout. But if you don't have any webcam, then that's okay. Kung na lang phone ang naana to, okay ra. As long as kuan lang ang atong angle, sakto lang. Bawion lang sa atong angle, di ba? Next is wear a headset. So while wearing a headset with a microphone may make you feel like you're piloting an aircraft or appearing in a 1990s music video. It helps to improve the sound quality of your interview. So use a headset that has over-ear headphones and options to adjust the volume so that you can hear your employer clearly. So if you have a headset, especially kanang noise cancellation or noise cancelling na headset, nindot na siya kay di jud niya madunggan imong background. But if wala man gani tay headset nga kanang noise cancelling, kay ayun na lang pagpugsak. Kung naatay ka baro mas maayo, but if wala, you have to go to a place nga hilom kandili saba ba mangita lang tag para-paraan na lang kita para makakuan ta, especially kanang mag-start pag gani adto lang kita sa place nga hilom nga para makadungog pug ka. But I'd suggest mag-use should mag headset class. Ayaw mo ka na ganing telephone lang dito ninyo kay di mo magkasinabot niya mag-speaker di kita ang tag-interview niyo sige pa kag hello. So di ba? Hassle ka siya as much as possible. Dapat this is very important equipment, which is the headset. Okay, then the next is we have practice. So what do you mean by practice? Research the company, make notes, prepare questions, and do a mock interview with your friend. So meaning you have to practice unsa kay ang mga possible questions, no? So do your research. Look online for information about not only the company with which you are interviewing, but the job description and comparisons to other company. I remember katong first pa ko nag-apply, my first job actually was working in a call center. They will ask you, what do you expect sa kaning job? What do you expect sa call center? Wala ko yung research ko, alam mo sa din na call center way. So, man sila mag-answer of calls, wala ko idea. Ako mag-customer service lang. Mura daw globe. Ingahan na nabawa, di ba? It is very important that you are ready. You have to research unsa din na ani kay ipangutana gyud nila sa inyong class. Nga unsa imong i-expect ani nga trabaho. Masi sa teacher, what do you expect? Di ba? As a teacher, nga imong buhaton. So dapat kabalo ka. Unsa di akong buhaton ani? You need to know unsa imong i-expect ani nga company. Okay, the next is you have to prepare your questions. Prepare your questions, meaning brainstorm a list of common interview questions that you expect to be asked in your interview based on previous experience or online research. Tinuod gyud ni sa call center or sa teacher kung nag-apply ko, they will really ask you questions, especially ka na ganing mga questions nga related to your previous experience. So, it is important na ma-imo jud anda may research nimo daan. Kasagaran, I'll give you a tip for questions. They will actually ask you sa so far sa tanan akong gi-apply na nag-ask sila na ko ani kana ganing murag negative na questions, like for example, what is kanang unsa nga situation nga naglisod ka kana bang, I mean, what I'm trying to say is like what's the hardest decision you made before, or unsa man ang mga unsa man ang imong gibuhat katong teacher ka nga nagbasol kaayo ka. So they will ask negative questions. But especially sa inyo ha, they will ask you, diba, as a new hire or a newbie, like new applicant, unsa man ang imong pinaka hardest decision in life or sa inyong school, pangutanon mo nila ana. So you have to take that opportunity to turn around the table. So, diba, you have to use that as your advantage if ever they will ask you kanang mga negative na questions. So, take note, if it's negative, you have to be honest. Gusto na jud ka nga honestly mo yung nahitabo nimo, mo anong nasuko ka o sa reason behind it, ug bawi o jud na ninyo siya sa inyong positive. Like, what have you learned? And then, unsa inyong buhaton? Action plan. Next, imong buhaton ana. So, maingon ka nga ang may pinaka-hard nga nahimo namo or pinakasakit nga nahitabo sa imong kinabuhi kay kani, and then unsay reason behind it. Then moving forward, unsay buhaton nimo para to correct it, para dili na to siya mausab. I learned from my friend na mag-interview sa call center, the reason why they will ask that question is para makabalo sila giunsa nimo paghandle ba if ever sa kaning situation may tabo ni sa trabaho, which is very common, di ba? May tabo gid na giunsa nimo pagkabalo ba ka sa imong buhaton, imong resolution, maka-come up ba ka. So kana, you have to prepare your question. Sample lang to nako. Another is you have to do a mock interview. What do you mean a mock interview? You have to run through a full mock interview with you. So meaning you have to download the app or software that your interview will be conducted with. Like if they will ask you to go on Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, or Microsoft Teams. So you have to test. You ask your friend or your family kanang i-test na to, magtawag sa ta as if sila ang nag-interview sa imuha, din ikaw mag-interview or ikaw ang interviewee. So diba dapat importante jud ka ani, you have to do a mock interview. Mag-practice jud ka nga mag-unsaon para masanay na ka if naabot na kaana na kana na jud nga time nga mahitabo na ang interview. Okay, so next is we have dress professionally. So dress for the job you want, including pants, cover up blemishes on your face, and highlight your best feature. So diba we have to dress professionally. Think of a video interview in the same way you would think of in a person interview. So, ang online interview dapat hunaon mo as if nag face-to-face mo or nag-walk-in ka. You need to dress appropriately for the job you are interviewing for and impress the interviewer with your professional appearance. So, unsaon man, number 1, you have to wear pants. We can't stress this enough. Wear pants. If kita mo sa picture nga ako ang gibutang sa screen, di ba? Ang ihang pants, wala siya nagpants, nag-short lang siya. Ang half lang, para sa mag-online class ba, nag-uniform ang babaw, ang ubos kay, wala, nagpurola dito, o ba, nagpanty or nag-brave sa ubos, ang upper lang, di ba? So, even though it's tempting to say comfortable and relaxed and on your bottom half during a video chat, you never know what will happen during the interview, and you don't want your potential employer to get an eyeful of your days of the week underwear, especially if it's the wrong day, diba? So what if biglang ka, sige, nag-apply ba ka ron as a tourism, then i-check nila yung mong height, pabarugon ka, then half lang ka, wala ka nag-short ka. So diba, wait sa kada layoff pa ni mo ang cam. So, hassle na kaayo. Minus na. So, dapat formal, dapat ready ka. So wear pants. Second is dress smartly. Wear the clothes that you deem to be appropriate for the job you are going for. Try to avoid loud prints or over bright colors, and take a little time to research which color and style suit you based on your hair color. So I'd suggest dapat formal gid siya. Ayo tong mga cleavage, yan na gani. So formal. Wear ka ng ingani na color or white or black or mga neutral colors. I'd suggest you wear that during interview. You can never go wrong with white, diba? So pag white na lang. Next is we have avoid distractions. So kani, ano sa din yung mga avoid distractions? Mute notification on your phone. Accept all relevant websites on your laptop. Put a note on your door and make sure the child and pets are occupied. So what do you mean by that? So mute notification, that's number 1. If you're using your phone, dapat i-chatta na mo yung mga chatmate nga di sa ta magchat-chaton kay na ako'y kanang interview. What if you're in the middle of the interview, di mo tawag imuhang kuan nag-answer ka question din gitawagan ka. So di ba, it's a distraction. Dili na nun ka makafocus. Kay mong uyab nag-chat nimo nasukko kaayo. Kay nganong wa ka nang hugas sa plato. So di ba, silingan na di mo. So kana, we have to avoid that. Mute notifications. Kung silingan mo ay sa kog sa mukay mong mamagpapa pa di sa ko manghugas ron kay na ako interview mag-focus ako ani. Kay mukalit nagtuktok kay mong magpapa. Ano ba ka nahugas og plato? Diba? So, madungga na din ka sa imuhang interviewer. May na sa kaayo. So, i-briefing na nimo sila daan. Ang imuhang door, butangan doon mag-sign, do not disturb. Diba? Para may kayo gusto nga busy kay ka na kay interview. Dili ka nila matandog. And then, this is also one thing I learned when I worked in a call center because naabtan man mi atong pandemic. So, mao gyud ilang i-advise. Dapat, imuhang anak, imo na lang gipakabusog na imong anak para dili na mo samok nimo kung nagtrabaho ka. If you have pets, dapat pakanon jud nimo imong irudaan pa di magsigaw-aw nimo in the middle of call. So ingana. So ingana pud ang online interview dapat imo na lang briefing tanan mga tao sa inyong mga silingan. Manira ka sa inyong gate para walay bata manood sa inyong. Next is inform those around you, mga kung giingon ganina. Although being inside with your family and friends is difficult to avoid right now, try to make sure that there are no children screaming or pets howling during the interview. Muagi din mo silingan, isda mo diha. Hala ka na ako sa in the middle of interview. Di ba? So, if you have a room, kanang sirado jud kaayo, good for you. Pero kita usahay nga, natin mga silingan, saba kayo, pagita na lang siguro og place. Kung dili gani inyong place medyo saba, pagita na lang lugar. Kung maka-afford ka, mo adto og coffee shop adto ka dadto. Pero say saba mo na imong kanang kuan good sa Starbucks, di ba? Medyo hilom-hilom dadto kung natay kwarta. But kung wala tay kwarta, mag-agwanta ta mangita tag lugar, pahilo mo na to ang mga silingan. Diba? Another one is close windows. If you're paid attention to our previous tips, diba, ningon ta atong kanang good lighting, dapat doon ta sa bintana, you'll be positioned near a window for natural light. So, but you have to make sure actually, kani ganing close windows. The reason behind it, kay do, kung inyo, again, if inyong balay kay hilom, at okay rang mag-open ta og window. But if namin mga silingan, saba kayo, ni mag-open kag window, madungog. So, it's a distraction na noon. So, you have to make sure na kung saba gani kayo, i-close na lang, pag ring light na lang ka, para dili pa-distract. Kaya dili nakakadungog sa interviewer, then ang interviewee, dili na po, or ang interviewer, dili na po kadungog sa inyo, ha? Okay? And lastly, be friendly. Smile. Listen attentively. And avoid fidgeting. Make a direct eye contact with the webcam and pay attention to what the interviewer is saying. So first is you have to smile. Diba? Smile. Ana. Make sure your face appears relaxed, warm, and friendly throughout the interview. Bisag kul ba na kay kayawa na ka sa question, smile jud ka. sakit na kay mong pangasigig smile, di ba? But hindi dapat ka mahalata, din mag-lipstick ka para imong kulba, di mahalata nga imong nga bill ko na dark violet na sa kulba. So legit ka. So naglisod na ka, di ba? Ganon. Next is we have listen. Pay attention to what an interviewer is saying and make sure your responses match up to what they want to hear. Actively maintain eye contact with the interviewer by looking into the webcam rather than at the screen of your laptop and show that you are listening by nodding your head. Importante jud kaayo ni listen. So dapat maminaw jud ta. Dapat maintain eye contact sa kuan. And then if naa gani i-ask question ang interviewer, ayo nagbalik ka. Maingon na dayon ka sa interviewer nga para sa kanang high school kanang di ba estudyante ta ba class ket 1/4 ma'am ibalik pa jud ang question so ayaw may jud kayo na siya dito ra jud ka answer ayo na balik ka unsa gyud yung question ma'am di ba it only means ka na distract ka wala ka nag-pay attention sa iya so it's a big no. Next is stop fidgeting. So try to have good posture and positive body language throughout the video interview. So have a glass of water nearby to sip if you feel nervous or uncomfortable. And try not to tap on your desk. Magana na ba sa imong table? Play with your hair, di ba? Sana all magana na ka sa imong buhok. So ayaw, it's a no. And then bite your nails. Or ang uban, kana kay magana ang tiil, kana kuyawan na niyang lamis sa uyog-uyog sad. So ayaw, di ba? As much as possible dapat kalma ra ka. Murag wala yung hitabo nimo pero kahit o na kay nakulbaan na ka. So di ba? Ana. So again, di ba? You have to if you have it, if you're confident, flaunt it. If you don't have it, fake it till you make it. Kasi nagkurog ba imong tiil, dapat you have to fake it na okay. Fake it till you make it. Relax sa daw kuno ka. Ganon. So having these tips and tricks in place before and during your interview should allow you to concentrate on your answers and give the best impression that you can during this important video call. And that's it. Thank you.
Before I proceed to the next speaker, I would like to give my insights about the topic. So, kailan naman gawin tatanan ng resume, no? Your resume is very crucial as to whether or not you'll get a yes from human resource or HR. It's very comparable to specifications when choosing a gadget. For example, nangita ka og laptop and ang require sa imong company is dapat i-series, dili Pentium, dili Celeron, etc. Dapat it's either i3, i5, i7, i9. Also, RAM should be not less than 4 gigabytes. Asam na nimong tanan mahibaw-an? Of course, sa specifications or specs. Sir, asa na namo makita ang specs? Ara na ninyo makita sa paperworks that comes with the gadget. And just like your resume, it's a paperwork, a document. Ara ma-determine sa company if you have the specs nga ilang gipangita. Unsa man nga specs, sir? Well, that is if you have the personality, the degree, the experience, and the skills nga ilang require which they deem fit for you to take the position you are applying for. So sa resume, ibutang jud nimo tanan-tanan imong mga nindot nga qualities, imong mga previous job experiences nga that is related to the job that you're applying for, imong mga awards nga na-receive, imong mga seminars nga na-attendan, mga degree nimo nakuha, imong mga skills tanan-tanan. Dapat sa resume panandaan, magpahamot na mo og maayo sa inyong employer. And if okay na in your resume, ari na pud mo sa interview. Okay? Usara jud akong masulti for you to ace the interview. Kay, of course, gidiscuss naman na earlier ni Teacher Jakes. What I could advise is for you to skip the flowering words, kay tendency ana, that's more or less 90% irrelevant to the question, and di ra kay ikaw ra ang interviewing nga need i-accommodate sa interviewer. Okay? Just answer the question direct to the point, and as much as possible, practice yourself nga dili ka magkanga-kanga. I know nga di na malikayan jud labi na og first job interview nimo. Kulba jud kayo na, and I myself too I can relate it as well sa previous na ko nga interview. However, you should show to your employer na you are confident enough to take the position you are applying for. And one tip for pwede ka magkakanga o dili ka ma-mental block is you should not go to war unequipped. So dapat you're all prepared you ka nga to answer possible questions. You'll do research kung say possible nga questions ay asked sa interviewer. Okay, so much for that. Now let's move on to our next speaker. So our next speaker, she's a degree holder in Bachelor of Science, major in accountancy at the University of Cebu, and a holder of diploma in professional education at Talisay City College, earning 36 units of Master in Business Administration. And she is the current advisor of Grade 12 EIM. She believes that life doesn't come with a manual, it comes with a mother. She's just not a teacher, but a mother to her students. She will be discussing about self-esteem in human relations. Without further ado, a warm welcome for teacher Jocelyn I. Espina. Teacher Jocelyn.
Maayong adlaw kanatong tanan. Ako si Teacher Jocelyn I. Espina. Nadungog na nato nga gidiscuss unsaon paghimo og resume ug how to ace an online interview. So karon i-assume nato nga nadawat na ta sa usa ka trabahoan. So unsa di ay ang atong mga kinahanglan kung nadawat na sa usa ka trabaho? So ang atong topic karon mao ang self-esteem and human relations. Ang atong objectives karon nga topic, number 1, we need to define self-esteem. Ikaduha, we need to discuss the relationship between self-esteem and work performance. The last one would be distinguish among different type of self-esteem. Unsa di ay ang self-esteem? Self-esteem is an individual's subjective evaluation of their own worth. So, isip kita kay baluta kung unsa atong worth sa atong kaugalingon. So mauday na si self-esteem. Sometimes matawag sad siya nga self-worth or self-respect. And then self-esteem encompasses beliefs about oneself. For example, moingon ka nga I am worthy or moingon ka nga I am unloved. So di ba makita nimo sa akong duha ka example naa siya negative o positive. So, kung moingon kog I am worthy, unsa man to siya, positive or negative? Very good, it is a positive. So, kung positive gali siya, gitawag siya og high self-esteem. While kung ningon ko nga I am unloved, unsa man siya, positive or negative? Very good, negative siya. So, muna siya gitawag og low self-esteem. Makita nimo sa atong picture na na-distinguish between healthy self-esteem and low self-esteem. So, kung mingon kita kung ang tao nga na ay lower self-esteem, they are unable to see themselves as capable, sufficient, and worthy. Diba kung low atong self-esteem, mingon ta, ay, di ko kahibawan na. Like, for example, isip usa ka estudyante, mingon ka, di mo ko kabawan ng mathematics, o bugo gid kay ko ana. So, muna nga, bisag tagaan-tag activity sa teacher, dili na to itry. Kaya nga naman, low naman atong self-esteem ana. Pero, kung kay balo lang ta nga, bata na kay high self-esteem, so mingon ka nga, makaibalo ra gyud ko mo solve ani nga problema ha. So, muna yung naka-differensya sa low self-esteem o healthy self-esteem. So, unsa may the relationship ani niya sa human relations. So, in a human relations, unsa di ang meaning niya? Gipasabot siya nga ang human relations is the skill or ability to work effectively through and with other people. So, mao din no, mo siya gitawag relation, meaning ang usag-usa kanato na a relationship. It includes a desire to understand others, their needs and weaknesses, and their talents and abilities. So, pasabot nga in a human relations, makasabot ta sa usag-usa kung unsa ang atong mga batasan. Kay with that, we need to accept who we are. So, unsa self-esteem and work performance. Accordingly, it is said, business success depends greatly on one's level of self-esteem. So ang usa day ka negosyo magdepende di ay sa atong level of self-esteem. Nganuman, for anyone in a workplace setting human relation, it also involves an understanding of how people work together in a group. Because kung lower ang atong self-esteem, it's also associated with low job satisfaction. So mao na nga ang business dili siya mulambo kay kung ang mga trabahanti ato nga sa usa ka organization kay lower ang ilang self-esteem. Psychological research finds that a person with lower self-esteem experiences anxiety, depression, irritability, aggressions, feelings of resentment and alienation, and happiness and insomnia. Di ba kung lower imong self-esteem mo, like isip ko sa estudyante, hagbong jud ko ani, hagbong jud ko ani. Meaning wala kay motivation nga mobuhat ani, nga mo study sa usa ka subject. It is because ang imong hunahuna negative naman siya. Oh, like for example in my picture, diba ingon siya, a person with healthy self-esteem is open and ready for new experiences. Diba makita nimo sa picture, unsa man na siya? Yes, very good. Iring. Pero ang iyang tan-aw sa iyang kagalingon usa siya kalayon. So tinana ta kung ang atong tanaw sa atong kaugalingon kay healthy ang atong self-esteem, meaning ana taas ang atong panglantaw. Capable ta nga mobuhat kung unsa ang mga buhaton nato. Isip usa ka estudyante, moingon ta nga magtuon ko pag-ayo ani kay nakahibalo ko nga kung magtuon lang ko makahibalo gid ko. So mo na siya kung naatay healthy nga self-esteem. Accordingly, there are two types of self-esteem. The first one would be feelings. It's either positive or negative. Mo to siya no na siya high ug low. And then it's about self-worth. The second would be self-efficacy. Unsa man ang self-efficacy? Is the confidence an individual has in his or her ability to deal with problems when they occur. So sa first nato nga example, niingon siya nga ang feelings daw nagpasabot siya nga usa ni siya ka it's to do with how one feels about oneself, kung unsa atong mga feelings. Like ang ikaduha katong self-efficacy, it has to do with our actions, problem solving, kung giunsa nato pagsulbad ang atong usa ka problema. Like kamo, isip usa ka estudyante, o unsa ninyo pagsulbad nga makapasar mo sa inyong usa ka subject. Yung saon man ninyo pagsulbad. Yes, natural lang yun nga magtuon mo pag-ayo aron makasabot mo sa usa ka topic. So unsaon man di ay nga mo achieve ang atong higher self-esteem. Kung for example, lower gid ang imong self-esteem, mo ni siya. Dili ni siya ingon nga kinahanglan mao inyong buhaton pero tamdanan lang ni aron unsaon nato pag-achieve og higher self-esteem. Number 1, learn to accept yourself. So kinahanglan dai dawaton nato kinsa ta. Kay kung wala ta nakaila sa atong kaugalingon class, dili man ta kadawat kung kinsa ta. Ako tong sumpayan no katong sumpayan ako ang gisulti sa Miss Grand International according sa kanta nga The Greatest Love of All. Ingon siya, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. So kung dili nato i-accept atong kaugalingon, dili ta mahigugma sa atong kaugalingon, dili gyud ta makagawas no kung unsa ang atong mga negative nga feelings. So mo ta, we'll need to learn to accept ourselves. Second, we need to develop a winning skill. So kung unsa ang maayo nato. So kung unsa atong 40 o kanang may kay kuani, may kay kog drawing, may kay kog science, may kay kog math. So ato to siyang i-develop. Kay with that, makahibalo kita kung unsa ang atong mga skills. Ikatulo, study confident people. So atong mga like for example, kinsa mga tawhana no nga na-achieve sa ilang life, giunsa man nila pag-achieve. So ato to silang studyhan kung giunsa nila. Like for example, kung naa kay mga idol nga mga artista, mga presidente or mga maestra. So kinahanglan studyhan nato ilang kinabuhi kung nganong naabot sila sa inanak. Number 4, read biographies of people. So nahan ka magbaksidor. So kinsa man nimuhang basahon nga biographies. Alangan mag si Michael Jackson. So ato gyud kang Pacquiao. Kay si Pacquiao boxing man siya, boxer man siya. So mao na nga kung unsa imuhang mga kinahanglanon, maupod to siya mga tawhana nga imuhang mga kanang basahon nimo ilang mga biographies. So maura na ang atong topic for today. So mao ni naamoy activities no as giingon na sa ganina nga kinahanglan in every topic naamoy mga activity. So mao ni ang atong activity karon. So inyong buhaton, pwede ninyo screenshot sa inyong cellphone nga isubmit ni siya 1 week after. So karon no, April 7. So April 14 ni ninyo isubmit ang activity. So akong basahon. Jill's dissatisfaction with her job as a customer service representative was affecting her self-esteem. So meaning, si Jill di ay kanang usa siya ka customer service representative. It's either usually today kay nag-call center. So gikapoy na siya no kay ang self-esteem mura ni low. Although encouraged by friends, she never took up a career in advertising despite her keen interest. So si Jill di ay ganan siya og advertising kay na siya skills ana. Pero wala lang siya ni kuha. It is because ingon diri she had negative thoughts about her abilities. So nagduwa-duwa siya sa abilities kung na siya kay baw baka ko ani or wala. When Anita, one of Jill's best friends, warns her against redundancy in her job and strongly suggests her to use her creative talents. So ningon nga, uy ayaw anay kay redundant na kay nimong trabaho. So may paggamito nimo imong talent as advertising. So mao, Jill experiences a new optimism. So nakakita siya, nakapanglantaw siya positive no nga. Mas maayo di ay. So within a month, Jill lands a job in an agency with higher pay, but more importantly, a strong motivation to succeed. So si Jill, nagkuan na siya, natrabaho na siya sa agency nga advertising. So karon ang akong pangutana mao ni, what was the source of the negative thoughts Jill have been fighting? So mao ni siya no, unsa kuno ang iyang source ngano na siya mga negative thoughts.
Good day, students. How are you feeling right now? Okay pa? Lumalaban pa ba kaya? If you do so, well, that's better. Since you've learned already the self-esteem in human relations, this time you will learn another lesson. But before that, I want you to look at this picture first. What can you say about it? What do you think does the first picture trying to convey? You see a woman trying to be physically fit? Correct. She wants to be healthy. What about the second picture? What can you say about it? Where did you usually see it? You see signs. Workplace. Streets. Very good. It shows workplace hazard signs for any facility. So now, that pictures are connected of what we are trying to talk about. I am tasked to share with you the lesson about maintaining health and safety in workplace. And the objectives are: number 1, identify the safety measures in the workplace. Second, acquainted with the occupational health, safe and healthy. So nowadays, still we are in a quarantine time, right? That's why the Interagency Task Force or IATF issued a guidelines upon Resolution number 103 series of 2021. March 18, 2021. Section 15, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution states that the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. So, all of you as a grade 12 students, work immersion is really a must. Since, according to the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE, work immersion is an integral part of the K-12 program in fully realizing its goal to produce job-ready graduates equipped with industry-based skills and kamuna ang gimin. Likewise, it strongly affirms that while work immersion contributes to full realization of the objectives of the K-12 program, the so-called safety. To learn about what safety is, let us familiarize with what Occupational Safety and Health Standards, or OSHS. This was formulated in 1978 in compliance with the constitutional mandate to safeguard the workers' social and economic well-being, as well as their physical safety and health. The Department of Labor and Employment, under Article 162 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, the OSHS was promulgated for the guidance and compliance of all concerned. This body of rules and regulation is referred to as standards. Standard means it is a legal basis set by the authority. OSHS aims to protect every working man and woman against the dangers of injury, sickness, or death through safe and healthful working conditions, thereby assuring the conservation of valuable manpower, resources, and the prevention of loss or damage to lives and properties. In connection with the topic, maintaining health and safety in the workplace, you need also to understand and familiarize the following words. Number 1, employer, a person or company that provides a job, paying a wages or a salary to one or more people. So, mao ni sila ang ato ang boss, ang mga amo. If sa amo nga kami teachers, our boss is DepEd. So, puhon, kamusad, basin pa di ay mahimo mong employer. Second, employee. Any person hired, permitted, or suffered to work by an employer. Ito ang sinasabi nating mga manggagawa or ang trabahador. So, kami na, mga teachers, no? Or pwede sad ka mo, kay musud mo sa immersion. Number 3, safe or safety. Refers to the physical or environmental conditions of work employment, which substantially comply with the provisions of these standards. Number 4, health. The condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, a state of well-being. Number 5, maintaining health. Efforts made to maintain or restore physical, mental, or emotional well-being, especially by trained and licensed professionals. Number 6, workplace. Means the office, premises, or work site, or this is the area where you work in. Now, let's proceed to workplace safety tips. Tips number 1, be aware of your surroundings. So requires knowing the particular hazards of your job or workplace. So maging mapagmatsyag ka dapat sa iyong kapaligiran. By that, you are able to keep clear of potential hazardous areas and situations, and also be alert of machinery. Second, use tools and machines. Takes the proper precautions when using tools, and never take shortcuts. Never ever jud mag-shortcut mga be, because it take a huge safety risk. Risgo jud kaayo na if mag-scaffolds ka. Scaffolds means it's a support system. Magmintinil lang ka. So it's a no-no. You must use tools the right way in order to reduce the chance of workplace injury. Number 3, keep emergency exits easily accessible. You'll need quick, easy access to the exits and in case of emergency. Kaya nga naman, because it's useful much for your safety. Example, na ay sunog. Dali na lang nimo malocate kung asa ka mudakan. If mahitabo man gani palayo lang should, dili na kayo ka maratol. And it's also recommended to keep clear access to equipment shut-offs in case you need quickly stop them from functioning. So kahibaw na pud ka sa maabtikon nga paagi nga magpalong dayon ang plangka. Example lang. So dyan pa lamang agad-agad maiiwasan ang masamang kalamidad. Number 4, report unsafe conditions to your supervisor. Your supervisor needs to be informed about any workplace safety hazards or risk. They are legally obligated to ensure their employees have a safe working environment and will take care of the unsafe conditions and make them safe for you and your co-workers. So dapat hindi ka mag-aatubili at matakot na lapitan ang iyong mga supervisor dahil iyan ay kanilang responsibilidad. Kuha? Number 5, stay sober. Sober means refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. So if kahibaw ka nga mag-duty kada following day, please do avoid aning bisyuha mga gangs o mga hikala ko. You know what? That around 3% of workplace fatalities occur due to alcohol and drugs. Daghang disgrasya ang pwedeng mahitabo posible. So dapat yun nga kalikayan. Number 6, wear the correct safety equipment. So dili jud ta pagahi sa ulo aning dapita. If unsay prescribed nga dapat isuot in accordance sa inyong work task, so be it. Di magbuot-buot sa attire nga suoton. Pag if you're not wearing the correct safety equipment for a task, you may get injured. Okay, next, another task or duties and responsibilities of an employer should do are the following. The employer must ensure that the workspace is properly disinfected, ventilated, and maintained. Second, the employer shall also provide proper visual reminders for safety policies around the workplace to improve compliance. Number 3, other prevention and control measures are conduct daily temperature and symptom monitoring and recording of all staff who report to work. No? Pag-monitoron mo ani dapat dapita if ever kamo mga employee. Physically fit ba mo or not? Next, establish referral network for employees who will develop symptoms. Then, employers shall implement activities to promote physical and mental resilience among their employers and workers, and ensure other measures to reduce transmission, contact, and risk infection. That's why, if nakabantay mo, kami pod, as an example, teachers, aba, hindi kami nagpapahuli. Napod mi sumbaoy and wellness activities. So moreover, still in a crisis like this, with COVID-19, we must always remember to maintain social distancing, staying 6 feet away from others, reduce sharing of common spaces, and frequently touched objects. Fourth, clean any dirty surfaces using soap and water first, then use disinfectant. And last one, do wear your mask anytime and anywhere. So that's it. As for your performance task, just a task. Now I want you to answer these two essay questions that serves as your assignments and to be passed by your respective immersion teachers or advisors. Okay? So be ready, or are you ready? So number 1, you have question, as an immersion student or employee, what do you think of being healthy in work? Second, if you are in your workplace, what are the things you must do to keep you safe all the time? Okay? So, nakuha ba? So, to sum up the topic, just bear in mind, o munting paalala lamang. Number 1, prevention is better than cure. Kung sa Bisaya pa mga ga, mas maayo nang mulikay kaysa ikaw ang likayan, di ba? Ikaduha, health is wealth. Of course, ang kalusugan ay kayamanan na dapat pakaingatan. Correct? Well, to end up this discussion, I will read this quote from Colorado School of Mines magazine. You don't need to know the whole alphabet of safety. The ABC of it will save you if you follow it. Means always be careful. I hope you're having a good time. So thank you for tuning in, and this has been your teacher, Miss Kristia Abarquez, saying, thanks safe, work safe, and be safe. God bless!